Minnesota Senate Republicans propose legislation to classify Trump derangement syndrome as a mental illness. And I'm all for it. I am all for it. I see it in my own practice. People are nuts when it comes to Donald Trump. Like, people have a crazy hatred for Donald Trump just because of his politics. This is like I said, I see it in my practice all the time. And when I have to talk to my liberal clients, they have hatred. They don't know how to control it. It's everything Trump lives in their head. And I have to work with them through that derangement. So like I said, I see it in my own practice. But we're going to talk about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Gateway Pundit, and they report that Minnesota Senate Republicans have introduced legislation to officially classify Trump derangement syndrome, or TDS, as a mental illness under state law. The bill, spearheaded by Republican Senators Eric Lucero and Steve Drakowski, Walter Hudson, Justin Eckhorn, and Glenn Gruhagen, aims to recognize the widespread hysteria that has gripped leftists across America since Trump first announced his candidacy in 2015. The proposed bill, SF 2589, introduced in the Minnesota Senate and referred to as Health and Human Services Committee, seeks to amend existing mental health statutes to define Trump derangement syndrome as, quote, acute onset of paranoia in otherwise normal persons triggered by reactions to Donald J. Trump's policies and presidency, characterized by symptoms such as intense verbal hostility towards Trump and potential acts of aggression against Trump supporters. And that's exactly what I see. That's exactly what I see. Like, not really threat to violence, but they definitely talk about separating themselves from Trump voters, not participating or in family functions because of people in their family supporting Trump, and just the outright hatred. The proposed definition suggests that TDS manifests as an inability to distinguish between legitimate policy differences and what the bill characterizes as a psychic pathology in Trump's behavior. Specifically, the bill would insert language about TDS into existing legal definitions of mental illness in sections related to mental health services and diagnostics, effectively treating it as a clinically recognizable condition. That is big. I mean, it's not going to be in the DSM, of course, but, you know, I guess you can use it in the state of Minnesota. Now, for those of y'all that don't know anything about mental health, the DSM is what we use to classify certain illnesses. It's how we use these illnesses to charge for services and things like that. You have to be able to classify what the person have to be able to charge them for services. But while the bill appears to be satirical or potentially politically motivated, it seeks to formally codify this concept into Minnesota's mental health statutes, potentially allowing for clinical recognition or treatment of what the bill describes as a syndrome related to emotional responses to political leadership. I don't know if this bill is going to pass or what have you, but it's very, very interesting to say the least, I believe. But with radical far-left activists harassing Trump supporters in public, attacking campaign offices, and even weaponizing law enforcement against the president and his supporters, Republicans argue it's time to acknowledge this phenomenon as a genuine mental disorder. All you have to do is look at what's happening to Elon Musk and his stuff. They're firebombing like Tesla stations. They're shooting up Tesla dealerships and running in the building and protest. They doing all types of crazy stuff that is part of the TDS, I believe. whether or not SF number 2589 makes it into law, one thing is clear: Trump derangement syndrome is very real, and millions of leftists are suffering from its effects. The question is, can they be saved? And I'll answer that question. Yes, they can be saved if these people know they legitimately have a problem. They go and seek help, and they have a good therapist. A therapist like myself. Not tooting my own horn, but I'm pretty good at what I do. But if they get a good therapist that recognize what they have and work with them, and is compassionate with them when it comes to that, because think about it. I'm a therapist. I'm a Trump supporter, and I have people come to me all the time complaining about Trump. I leave my politics out of it. I don't let them know that I am a Trump supporter, and I help them in any way that I can, and to some great success. So they can be helped. They have to want to change, though. You can't help someone that don't want to help themselves. You can't help change someone that don't want to change. So that's the first thing. These people have to be able to come into therapy wanting to change. And then you have to slowly peel back the onions. You have to slowly build that rapport. You have to slowly let them know that what they're doing is wrong without being judgmental, though. That's the difficult part, because we all judge. So you have to leave judgment out of it. You just have to help the individual and know that they are going through something. They do have this Trump derangement syndrome, and you can help these people. But again, they have to be able to know that there's an issue and want to do something about it. But that's my take on it. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.